road to glory. We've made our decision. We are coming back to Hawaii. The reason being, our head coach decided to return from last year. You know, we started off a little rough, but we were able to work through it. We had a great season. We made the college football playoffs. We debated making a transfer, but at the end of the day, we're coming back to Hawaii because we are supposed to have a top 25 ranking. That was the rumor. You can see right here. We didn't enter the season ranked in the top 25, but I think we could start out and do some good things. So this is going to be the beginning of it right here. You can see we don't get the ball to start it off. We're heading to BYU. This isn't an easy game if you're Hawaii. And what I'm going to do right here is just show you kind of how we start our season off. Coach is going to say, yeah, you can throw the ball. And you know what we're going to do. Our method is slow and methodical, and just making sure we can go high percentage completion plays. There we go. That's what it's all about. So we do a lot of slants. We do a lot of outs. We do a lot of drags. We look for our slot receivers. But this year I do get a little more confident. We start looking at some deeper routes, which we'll see here in a couple games. We're going to do the first 7 games this year. But you can see right away we're... you know, we didn't do a whole lot of great things on our first drive. But from here, just showing off again these little methodical routes, hitting these little crossing routes. Our guy, look for him, 81 McLean. He's the fastest guy on the field right now. I did just show you we threw a deep out. Here on third down, we were looking to hopefully get that first down, but we took the sack right there. Took a lot of pressure. But back to it, man. Second quarter, get that completion going. Still 3-0 here against BYU, so we're not getting blown out, which is a good thing. You could see this whole game was just a ton of pressure here in the first half. 3 and out right here. Not great. I was really stressing. I was like, oh my gosh, we have a crappy team, because you can see every time we're dropping back, especially on third down, they're just getting in our face. But here late, right before halftime, we're in the red zone, and we're hoping that we can punch something in here and take the lead. But you can see right there, 4th and goal, minute 26 left. I don't know what happened, but they went for it and we got a touchdown. So I wasn't a part of it. And whatever time, a minute 26 minus whatever it took for us to score, they were able to go down and score as well. So they maintained the 3-point lead going into halftime. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I did not look at how we scored that touchdown, but I was just glad we did. We didn't kick the field goal. We went for it. That's Coach Bobo, man. If you remember him from last season, Coach Bobo was making some crazy plays, crazy play calls out here, and making some magic happen. So we're in the game against BYU, which is huge. And these are just a couple of highlights of how we're running our offense, man. Back down here late in the third quarter, so we pretty much ran 6 minutes off the clock at this point, back and forth between the two teams and hitting some outs, a little deeper routes. But third down right there, they're going to get through. Again, I'm sweating this game, thinking, dang, we might be outmatched here. But kick the field goal, tie the ball game up. We get the ball back, fourth quarter. So you saw how many times last year we came through, and in the final seconds, final minutes, we were able to win a ball game. 5 minutes is a long time. So we don't want to score too quickly here. Here's just a simple out to the new tight end, who is super short, by the way. Devin Massey. He's only 6'1". He's more like a fullback, but he's a lot faster than the guy we had last year, which helped out. And I did want to highlight this play and just show you that we do kind of have a guy there at the tight end spot who can catch it. And then with 4 minutes, still plenty of time, Davison, our senior running back, he's going to take it in our first witness touchdown of the season, because we were in simulation mode when we went for it on fourth down. So I'm not sure if that was a fake field goal or we just went to a wildcat formation. But that's Davison, man. Davison, actually, he's going to have a really solid first 7 games here. Okay. Yep. We're still at it. 17-10. We're up 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Coach decides to throw it. That's our itty bitty tight end. We find him on the outside. He's getting open, which is really cool. Just forced it. I'm guilty of it sometimes, guys. I just want to go ahead and get the points in there, but you could see we went ahead, kicked the field goal, made it a 2-score game. Defense showed up and we're able to go into victory formation, kneel it out. It wasn't a pretty game. We didn't throw any picks, but it wasn't a pretty game, but we were able to get that 10-point win, open up the season on the road at BYU. It's not as easy as it sounds, guys. We're not a big program where we're expected to win games. Hawaii is tiny and not traditionally a great football team, so this was really huge, and gave us a lot of pride for deciding to come back for our redshirt junior season. Big win over BYU. From here, our offensive coordinator, we had a challenge to not take sacks and not turn over the ball. I didn't really think about it when we were playing, but we did get that coach trust increase. And then we had a regional NIL deal, which is a local fitness class or whatever. And you see that there's a permanent 5 in stamina for the upfront cost of 3 energy. So for 1 week, we're going to take a hit on our energy for a permanent 5 to stamina. Are you kidding me? You're damn right we're in. We're going to go ahead and sign that NIL deal before our next game. So you can see that your stamina now permanently increased by 5. From BYU, we're heading over to New Mexico. This one right here, you know, I had kind of mixed feelings about it. You know, the way that we played, granted, is against BYU, which I would say probably a better team than we were. But we that game right there put us back into the top 25, which I was really excited about. Early on, second game of the season, we're ranked 23 in the nation, which is huge. I told you guys, our running back, man, he can really do a job. Our Coach Bobo, loves him. We knew it last year. He could run the ball, had quite a few yards, quite a few touchdowns. That was actually a really good run by him to go straight up the middle and get the first touchdown early in the game. 4:40 left in the first quarter, and we'll just go ahead and watch the replay on this one. I do like the you know, we used to do all whites for the away games. Now we got the black pants, really good looking. Tossing these outs out here, so just showing you that we're getting a little confidence here, a little confidence in our throwing game. But you know, the staple of it is going to be getting our fast guys the ball and letting them do awesome things with it. You can see right here we got run pass option to the outside. That's kind of a staple for our goal line offenses, but it worked out from around 20 yards. And Fernandez, I forget what his last name is, he's able to catch it on the outside and just outrun the defense big time. 14-0 here in the second quarter. Another huge run by the running back. We just had to show this bad boy because, damn, that was a huge chunky yard. Didn't score, but that's a big play. You can see, man, New Mexico fans are just in disbelief. How did you let it happen? Well, let's just watch the replay. Right at the middle, dude doesn't break down. Typical defensive back. You know, they're not coming to they're coming to break up passes and dance and show off their swagger. They're not really there to make tackles. So we benefited from that. From here, we're going to just scramble, and we're going to go get a touchdown on our own, on our feet. That's our first rushing touchdown of the season. And yeah, I'm really feeling that one. I didn't want to force it. I really wanted to throw for more touchdowns this year. But at the same time, I know that we make mistakes. And I didn't want to make a mistake and throw a pick in the red zone. But here's a deep throw. I told you guys we're gonna come back and have a new confidence about us, and that's just kind of a highlight of throwing some streaks, hitting those deep outs, and then in that red zone, you know what Coach Bobo does. He's gonna run Davison, another one from pretty deep too, his second touchdown of the game. And I don't mind calling running plays when your running back can do things like that. That was kind of the highlight of what we were doing out there. 31-0. That was a huge win, you know. For the first scare with BYU being like, okay, are we overmatched here? Do we belong here? and then to go New Mexico and just absolutely dominate. We're like, okay, this might be a special season for us. So I got a lot of confidence out of this game. You know, we're not gonna, hopefully we're not gonna be like scraping by like we did our first 2 years and trying to win in the last few seconds. But going home for our first home game, and it's going to be against another tough opponent in UCLA. We didn't move in the top 25 polls. We're going to be 23 again, but this is a test for a top 25 team because UCLA is a storied program. And we're just going to show out right here about midway through. You can see that we're not having a whole lot of luck right off the bat here, but we don't lose our confidence. Fernandez, that's 1-8. We're going to hit him on the outside. We're going to stay confident, stick to what we do best. This was a crazy play. I had to look at it like 10 times. Have a look at this. It looks like he steps out, boom, steps out, but they called a touchdown. The booth even reviewed it. I didn't show that. The booth reviewed it, and sure enough, it stood, and we got the touchdown out of that. So putting that deep touchdown pass on there. And this is just going to be our 14-14 highlights as we swap ends of the field here. Again, that's a crazy catch, but keep that in mind because that was open quite a few times in this game, and I wasn't able to pull the trigger on it. But I did notice a lot of that right there. So this time we make sure he is 100% inbound. Same guy. That's Brazel on the outside. Same exact route. It was a little different for the other guys. We threw a few crosses under there and like an underneath route. But we looked for that flag again, and it was there for his second touchdown of the game. And then going back to what we do best, which is super methodical. We come up short, but we do have the lead. 3:33 left in the fourth quarter. We are up by a touchdown. This is clock management. You can see we're just like running it down. And yeah, fortunately we're able to keep running. Our run game just in general, probably the best it's been, because that was our second string running back, and he was able to take it in for the touchdown. We hang on. We win by 7. I don't know if it's a home field advantage. You can see we got a new helmet too, trying out a new visor. Just want to see how Ivory Pass looks with different equipment on. So we're going to do that a couple times throughout this year. Just change it up, see how we look in game. 264 yards this game, 72%. We like to throw high percentage completion plays. We get a couple touchdowns against UCLA, a good opponent. We didn't move last week in the top 25. We're just happy to be here, so we weren't really complaining about that. But at this point, we've just beat BYU. We beat UCLA. We were 23rd in the nation. Now we're starting to think like, hey, we need a little respect here. We're out here doing things. So we return home. After that, again, another week in the rankings, and I don't choose the schedule. You know what I'm saying? Road to Glory chooses it for us. We got an FCS team coming up. We're expecting to blow these guys out, obviously. Early on the very first drive, we're gonna run a read option and just go ahead and give it off. We don't pull a whole lot of those. 95% of the time we pull a read option, we're getting tackled behind the line, even if that end crashes. I just wanted to show you guys my favorite part about scoring touchdowns at Hawai'i is the super cringy male cheerleaders who do the hang loose symbols. This was a really fun crossing route. We decided instead to go deeper, to do like a deep crossing route, and it paid off. Just outran everybody. Man, 18 and 81, the inverse of that. Those guys are our main wide receivers in the game. Even though, we threw 2 touchdowns of Brazel right there. We got kind of a trio in the wide receivers that we love to throw to, plus the tight end new this year. We got a lot of weapons. You can see right there, just outrunning people, which is a lot of fun. That's Brazel. And for his 3rd touchdown in 2 games, that's pretty good for him. But FCS, we're not going to expect that we can come in every single week and do this. We kind of just got fortunate, I'm going to be honest with you. But this is our bread and butter right here, the underneath routes. Just making sure we pick up, you see 259 yards, 2 touchdowns. We got about 8 minutes left in in the fourth quarter, and 4 games in, we've already thrown over 1,000 yards, so averaging about 250 yards a game. We don't blow this team out, 23-15 against an FCS team. I didn't want to lose it. Yeah, and I sweated it a couple times. We didn't come out and absolutely dominate like I thought we were going to, but at the end of the day, we don't do redos here, by the way. You know the Ivory Pass channel. We don't do redos. It is what it is. We live with whatever we're given. But we showed up, man, and we got the W. So that's 4-0 as 3 of those games we played in the top 25. So I mean, we're planning to keep climbing. You can see it's right here, a 3rd straight home game in the rain. This is going to be our first game in the rain where we're really going to be affected. We did miss quite a few balls here with like overthrowing and like leading people too far, and I think that's because of the weather, because one of the perks you could put on your quarterback is to not be affected by the weather here. So you can see we've climbed all the way to 14th in the nation in our first rivalry game. On the first drive here, I'm actually going to be split out wide and just make like really big blocks. Made sure we want to highlight that, but that kind of set up our goal line stance. We couldn't punch it in, so we run the out right here. And this actually, I'm not sure if it changed Coach Bobo's mind, but this play becomes something that's an option more when we get into the red zone. So that is a younger tight end. He's not our feature tight end, but you'll see that we start getting him involved, man. That play, it's starting to be there for us. 10-0 here early in the second, and we're rolling against our first rivalry game. Another out route out here. Man, here's our shorty tight end, 6'1" guy. He's got decent speed though. He's definitely, I don't know if he's as fast as our first year guy, our redshirt freshman guy. He's definitely like 6 inches shorter, but he's got decent speed. So, and you can see he can get outside on a lot of those. 20-0. What I tell you, we get that little out going with this guy, Higgum, the red zone. Coach starts looking at him more and more. So that's 2 touchdowns for him. A couple games ago, we saw Brazel catch a couple touchdowns. So Coach, he loves to focus in on guys when they got the mismatches. 27-3 as a 14th team in the nation. That's awesome. I couldn't believe it. Your heart rate, your adrenaline, it really starts going when you realize, man, we're kind of poised to do something special here. One awesome thing to note here is we have yet to throw an interception. We've been pretty good, sitting around the 70 to, I want to say 77, 78 completion percentage every game. So we're doing really good there. We're not putting up a ton of touchdowns, but we're not turning the ball over, which has been kind of the Achilles heel of our first 2 seasons in big games. We turned those things over. Now we're rolling. I mean, 5-0 was 14th in the nation. We're coming in for, we just won our first rivalry game, San Jose State. We go back out on the road though, and that's where things get a little crazy. You can see we jump 4 more spots. We're number 10. Wyoming can sneak up, you know, and ever since Josh Allen's been there, they've had a different confidence about them. Here we go, early in the game, just showing you. Let's go through, let's be methodical. We know that at any moment here, these guys can do special things. You see our main guy got injured. He was out exactly 1 play. I call him our main guy, even though I hadn't been highlighted a whole lot up to this point. But 101 completed passes this season. A lot of those have been over to number 81 there. Still pushing on our first drive, getting that out, and luckily that defensive back, you know, he's there to take pictures and dance around. He's not there to make tackles. I got lucky with that one. Good crossing route. Brazel, man. So Brazel and McLean, 81. Those are our 2 outside guys. Fernandez, 18, is our slot guy. He's a big slot guy too, over 6 foot. And then we've got Devin Massey our tight end. And then the past 2 games, Higgum, you could see again, he gets himself another touchdown on the same out route down here in the red zone. I don't know why he's not highly rated, but whatever. So this right here should have been our first interception of the season, but the defensive back didn't catch it. He actually tipped it to Davidson. Davidson landed on the goal line. I tried to challenge it. So the next play, coach wanted to throw it to Higgum. I said, no, let's audible. Let's go halfback direct, and let's give him the touchdown for making sure he caught that pass, and we didn't turn it over. So let's flip it over here. McLean on the outside. Big pass. Big touchdown. This guy's the fastest guy on the team right now. And we hit him. We take advantage of it. We've got the confidence to start hitting these. And we're starting to read the defense a lot better. We're not seeing as many crazy Heisman. When you play on Heisman mode, it looks like some of these interceptions are kind of forced. The game's like, you got to throw it. But back to the game here. Davidson in for another halfback direct touchdown. And just showing off why we give him touchdowns instead of trying to steal all the glory. It's our road to glory, right? He's already picked up 618 rushing yards. Got about 100 yards a game this week 6 here. But yeah, I'm just going to show this one off. We had just talked about not throwing a pick all season. I got way too confident. 35-3 against a rival. We were big play after big play after big pass after big pass. And I 100%, you can see right here, I forced it. I saw him the entire way. He had the step, and I threw it anyway, thinking, whatever, we're Ohio State now, and we can just run under it. But that wasn't the case. But you can see here we had, after I threw the pick, we had a huge lead, and coach doesn't decide to put me back out on the field. We end up throwing our first interception of the season. But we had a good game, and we had an absolute blowout against Wyoming, at Wyoming, I might add. 6-0, ranked 10th in the nation. You see our running back is just doing the damn thing. 143 yards on the ground for him, 2 touchdowns, both on those halfback directs. But us too, playing quarterback out here, we are not doing terribly. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are leading this team, and we're having a lot of fun. It's exam week. Karen Jones, you know how it is, but I take care of the shit, you know. I take care of what needs to be taken care of. We got straight A's. Last game of this episode. We're going to Las Vegas. We're going to where the Raiders play. You could see this stadium is absolutely packed for UNLV. I don't think it's for UNLV, though. I don't think they can pack this stadium out like this. I don't know. I'm going to have to look into it, but I think it's because the Hawai'i Warriors are in town. You know what I'm saying? Undefeated, ranked 10th in the nation. We've got a really good quarterback. We got so many weapons on offense. I think this is the reason why we're out, why this stadium is absolutely packed. Is they want to come out and they want to see us, and they want to see their hometown team upset the 6-0 Hawai'i Warriors. And to be honest with you, we can't hear anything. I'm trying desperately right here to get our slot receiver. Hey man, just look over here. Let me do some sign language. I'm trying to call a hot route here, damn it. We finally get it. You can see the play clock running down 5 seconds before we hit that. We throw it out to him, and that's how the first part of this game went. We were all over the place. Luckily, we got a pass interference call to keep our drive alive here. But it wasn't easy. We're looking for hooks. We're looking for underneath routes. Our running back can't really get the running game going, so we have to continually like pound until we find something like that where a seam opens up, and then our little crossing route, man. 81 coming. He's so fast across there, and typically the defensive back, or sometimes they have a safety that decides to chase him across the middle. He usually gets tangled up because I like to throw Devin Massey out and like cross the routes, and hopefully he can bump him and make some room. This is a Hail Mary play as time expires right before half. Wasn't able to score, but it gave us confidence to go into the second half. 7-3 right here on 3rd and goal. We run it, and we don't get it, but Coach Bobo, he goes for it, man. And you can see that's how we got the 14 right there. That's my first pancake block out of that wildcat formation. I would definitely want to highlight, man, that was so cool. Pancake block right there. You can see we're down here in the red zone trying to hit these crossing routes. We're not able to get into the end zone, and neither is Davison. He tried to jump over the pile. We tried to go back to what worked for us last game, and he wasn't able to get it. But Coach Bobo, I don't know how, we scored another touchdown, and we're able to go into victory formation, 24-16. This one was really close, an 8-point game. The most important thing, though, is that we came away with the win. We're going to stay 7-0. We're going to be ranked 7th in the nation. We're poised to go make a run, you know, depending on how we do in the second half. You know, we're highly favored. College football's underdog Cinderella story. I'm excited about it. I'm here for it. Hawaii Warriors, we're in it this year, man. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Road to Glory. You can see number 7 in the nation, 7-0. 3-0 in the Mountain West. We're having a huge year. We're super glad we came back for a redshirt junior season here with Hawaii. We're going to continue pushing on. If you're liking the series, show some love. Leave a like, leave a comment. Consider subscribing. Hang out for the long run, because we got the second half of the season coming up in the next episode. And of course, we've got our redshirt senior season to look forward to beyond our next episode. So make sure you guys tune in and show some love. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you on the next episode.